Hello my dear students, welcome back to my class once again. So in the previous class we discussed Renaissance, the causes of Renaissance. So I have divided this chapter into 3 parts, and the first 2 parts we have already done, and the last part we'll discuss today. And those who have not watched those 2 parts, so I'll be sharing those link in the description box. Please check it and watch it if you have not watched it. So today I'll be teaching you Reformation, the causes of Reformation. Before that I'll tell you about the meaning of Reformation, so what it is. So everything is linked with the Renaissance period. So what actually is mean by Renaissance? Renaissance means rebirth, that we discussed in the previous class. So today, Reformation, to reform again. Reform means to make it again. Already it existed, now you need to bring some changes in it. So what is the meaning of Reformation? Reformation was a protest movement. Reformation was the protest movement, and it was a movement against the evil practices of the Roman Catholic. So Roman Catholic Church dominated the life of the people during the medieval period. So that is all about the movement which was against the evil practices of the Roman Catholic. Later on, this Reformation movement also came to be known as Protestant movement, which was led by Martin Luther. Okay, so now let me give you some idea about the medieval period, how the life of the people was like in the medieval period. So during the medieval period, religion was the central to human existence. The lives of people in Europe revolved around Roman Catholic and its supreme head, the Pope. The life of the people revolved around Roman Catholic and the supreme head, that is the Pope. Pope, who is known as a Pope, the religious head of the Christian, is known as Pope. And during that time, the authority of the Pope was absolute and could not be questioned or challenged. People were taught to focus. What did they teach? People were taught to focus only on divine and spiritual matters throughout their lives and prepare for life after death. Blind faith was propagated, and people were conditioned to believe that the only path to salvation was through complete and total surrender to the doctrines of the church. During those times, Christian monasteries became exclusive centers of education. Monopoly of education armed the church with absolute power and authority to increase its stranglehold on society. Any sort of opposition to the teachings of church would incur the wrath of papacy and often lead to terrible punishment. If anybody goes against the Pope or the church, they would be punished terribly. So, apart from spiritual powers, it is not only that they were involved in religious affairs, they were also involved in political affairs. They were also involved in political affairs. Rulers of these states were appointed, of different state rulers, king. They are appointed and dismissed by the Pope and subjected to the doctrine and regulations of the church. That means entire life of the people as well as the rulers were controlled by the church. That means spiritual control as well as political control was in the hand of the church. So as church became increasingly wealthy, powerful, the clergyman and the priest began to lead a life of ease, luxury and opulence. They started to live a life of luxury. So when life becomes luxurious, people need money. So in order to get money, you enter into a evil, corrupt practices. So what happened? The people, that means the clergy, okay, they became corrupt, they became immoral, and lost interest in the welfare of the people. The main duty of the church is to preach and stick to their religion. But here the life of the church, the clergy, started becoming more and more luxurious, and then the life led to immoral activities. So definitely people who are watching all those things, you definitely will not accept this type of immoral behavior and activities of the people, church whom you believe and follow their teachings. So due to all these things, my dear, there was a certain change which came due to Renaissance also, the freedom of thought, advent of new and powerful ideas which gave rise to humanism, rationalism, scientific spirit, and the spirit of inquiry which we discussed in the previous part also. The revolutionary ideas was completely unstoppable. It was like the awakening of the sleeping giant. People were sleeping for many years, and suddenly they were enlightened, and they now started to question the authority. They wanted everything with proper reason. So we got it in the previous part. People had finally found out truth and rationalism. Due to Renaissance, what did the people find? They found out truth and rational answers to their questions and discovered the real truth about themselves and their environment. Everything which was based on blind faith was questioned by the people. Teachings of the church were rejected, and its authorities were also challenged. Later on, with the invention of printing press, this also helped in the spread of the ideas of Renaissance thinkers. Printing press helped the Bible to be printed in numbers. The Bible was translated from Latin to regional languages. Now people can directly understand what actually is the teachings being mentioned in the Bible, and they easily learn the real facts about the teachings of the Bible. Before, they completely depended upon the teachings of the church, but now they can have Bible in their hand, they can go through it, they can understand, because those were written in their own languages. So this all changes became possible due to Renaissance, the freedom of thinking, the rebirth of classical Roman and Greek literatures. Knowledge improved, the spirit of inquiry developed due to Renaissance. Now they don't want to be dominated by the church. And not only Renaissance, many more other causes were also there, which were important cause for reformation, like evil practices of Roman Catholic. What were the evil practices? Unwanted practices were being followed in the Roman Catholic. During the early medieval period, Pope and the clergy means priest, they lead a simple and a pious life, saintly lives. They dedicated their life to the service of the people. Their main motive was to dedicate their life for the service of the people. This happened during the medieval period. But as time passed, the clergy with some expectations began to lead immoral life. That immoral life of luxury, wealth and comfort. The monasteries owned nearly one third of the landed property of Europe. Religious duties and services to humankind were largely ignored and forgotten. What actually was their duty? They forgot it. Not only that, Roman Catholic Church levied various taxes such as tithe on the common people. Tithe means 1/10 of the income of the people must be given to the church. And in the name of Peter pence, so high fees were charged. High fees were charged for conducting religious services too. Bribery, corruption became common. Church offices were sold, bringing many unworthy people into the church. Those who were not qualified enough, they were given the post of a bishop or a clergy. So what will they teach when they don't have a formal education? So definitely they bought those offices. Even church started selling indulgences. In those indulgences means certificate which could allow the people to get into heaven, free themselves from the fire of heaven, hell. So indulgences were sold to those who had committed sins. It was said that you have committed a sin. If you buy this certificate that is known as indulgences, you will be freed from the fire of hell. Your seat will be reserved in the heaven. It was like a certificate, as I told you, it was like a certificate. Pardon by God. God has pardoned them. Is that possible? God can pardon you by providing you the certificate. So this way you will go on continuing committing the sins, and you go on buying the certificates, and this way you will be free from the fire of hell. So this way people were fooled by the church. Why they were doing so? Because they needed more money to lead a luxurious life. So these were the ways through which you can collect money from the innocent people who had committed sin. So definitely, my dear, all these things were going on during those period. And during that time, many of the European scholars like John Wycliffe, John Huss, they exposed the evil practices being followed in the church through their writings and suggested many reforms. They brought consciousness in the minds of the people through their writings. They spread awareness about the real character of the Roman Catholic Church. They started doing so. So definitely these were the causes, my dear. Then there was a rise of strong rulers who wanted to rule on their own, not under the guidance or not under the dominance of the church. So they did not want the interference of the Pope in the administrative affairs. They represented the people. So they don't want to be dominated or ruled by the Pope. They resented the papal taxes and the drain of their wealth to Rome in the form of papal taxes. You are the ruler, I want to rule, I don't want to be dominated by the Pope's authority. So they wanted to get rid of this dominance. Then there was a rise of national consciousness throughout the countries of Europe. And this consciousness definitely wanted their own rulers. The people of the states of Europe wanted their rulers to rule independently and free from the control of the Pope. They also wanted their own national churches. So immediate cause of Reformation was the protest movement started by Martin Luther. So number of causes were there. What was the immediate cause? The movement started by Martin Luther. So what was the role played by Martin Luther? He was the one who protested against the evil practices of Roman Catholic by making the people conscious and making the people bringing in his support. So who was he? Who was Martin Luther? He was a German Christian monk. He was a preacher, a professor of theology at the University of Wittenberg. A visit to Rome and his observation of the church left him shocked and disillusioned. Enraged by the sight of sale of indulgences, he nailed on the door of the church a list of objections for the people for the public debate, which was known as 95 Theses. Let us debate on this. But he was taken as a heretic, he was taken as a traitor. So this attack on indulgences, which had been issued by the Pope, Luther appeared to be a challenging power and the authority of the papacy. So he started becoming obstacle in the path of the church. So what was done? He was excommunicated by the Pope. He was called in by the Pope, and it was ordered to be excommunicated, to be punished. Okay, so all this thing happened during that period, my dear, but still Martin Luther did not lose hope. He continued his protest, and due to that only he became successful. So he was the one to start a German national church, which was completely free from the control of the Roman Catholic Church. Completely free. So the movement which he started was known as Reformation movement, and also known as the Protestant movement, my dear. Protestant church were set up in different parts of Europe. What is the difference between the Roman Catholic and the Protestant church? Roman Catholic, lot of evil practices were being followed. That is why they wanted to free themselves from this dominance and the evil practices. So the church was established which completely believed in the teachings of Jesus Christ. They were not against Christianity. They were not against the teachings of Jesus Christ. They were against the evil practices of the Roman Catholic. The people were against the evil practices of the Roman Catholic. That is why they set up the Protestant church. Even today, throughout the world, you find churches: Roman Catholic Church, Protestant church. So how to differentiate, or how to know that this church is a Roman Catholic or Protestant church? A simple example I can give you. In a Roman Catholic church, statues of Jesus Christ or Mother Mary, you will get it. But in the Protestant church, you won't get any pictures or statues of Jesus Christ. That is the only difference. And the Roman Catholic, they wear a cross on the neck. Okay, and many of them, they do this way. They are Roman Catholics. This much I know about that one. But I'm not teaching you that Roman Catholic was not a good one. Roman Catholic was a very good one. But the Pope, as well as let us say that the clergy, they, in order to lead a luxurious life, made it a different religion which could extract money from the people. For organizing religious customs, they charged high fees. Church offices were sold to the unworthy people. So this way, my dear, people became more and more against the Roman Catholic. So now, due to the movement started by Martin Luther and been followed by large number of people, my dear, it was like a civil war which started in Europe, my dear, between the Roman Catholics and the Protestant church in Germany. Civil war started. What is the meaning of civil war? When two groups in the same country, when they fight against each other, that is known as civil war. So, you know that a seed of protest that Luther had planted in German Principality within the Holy Roman Empire flowered, bore fruit, and gave birth to some of the great Protestant churches in Northern and Eastern Europe. Many churches were set up. This is the contribution being made by Martin Luther. As I told you earlier also, when he set up a national German church, okay, free from the control of Roman church, Luther was condemned by the church as a heretic and was excommunicated by the Pope. So, in a show of open defiance, Luther publicly burned the order issued by the Pope. The order which was issued by the Pope was publicly burned by Luther. So this is the courage he showed to the people. So he was right on the path. That is why he got lot of courage and support from the people. So what was the impact of Reformation? What was the impact of Reformation? The church was split up permanently into two parts, Protestant and Roman Catholic. Civil war broke out in many countries between the church, between the Roman Catholic and the Protestants. Religious intolerance, hatred and persecution of Protestant in Catholic countries and Catholic in Protestant countries became the order of the day and led to many wars in Europe. Religious persecutions of the Protestants in England was a major reason for the migration. Many of the people in England, they migrated from England because they were persecuted on the basis of religion, because Roman Catholic dominated them, tortured them. So mostly the Protestants were the one who suffered a lot. So these people, they migrated. Okay, these people migrated to the colonization of North America, New England. So Americans, mostly we call America. Who are the Americans? The people from England who were religiously persecuted, they went and settled there in America when it was discovered. People from England, people from France were the one who went there in America and settled there. They are the Americans. That is why there is a very soft corner between the Americans and the European countries like Britain and England and France. Their ancestors were from England and France. So that is the one. They had gone there to save themselves from the religious persecutions. Okay. And by the end of 18th century, colonists would establish United States. So as I told you, the people who were religiously persecuted in England, they migrated from England to a newfound land that was America, later on, which came to be known as USA. So that is Reformation. Reformation was a movement against the evil practices of the Roman Catholic. Now another one is their Counter-Reformation. So as the power and prestige of the Roman Catholic was declining day by day with the increase and rise of Protestant church, so many of the changes were to be made in the Roman Catholic to survive and keep the Roman Catholic alive. So they also started a reformation within the Roman Catholic that came to be known as Counter-Reformation. Reformation was going on. That was a movement against the Roman Catholic evil practices. So side by side, Roman Catholic to save their existence. Okay, they also started to bring reformation within the Roman Catholics, like selling of indulgences were stopped, church offices were not sold, was given to the deserving and the wise person. Okay, and the taxes which were collected from the people, that is tithe and Peter pence, were also reduced. Got it? So what was their main motive of Counter-Reformation? To make everything okay. Otherwise Roman Catholic could have come to an end, because mostly the people could have gone to Protestant, because they were the followers of Jesus Christ. They believed in the teachings of Jesus Christ, which was ignored in the Roman Catholic. So now they got it in the form of Protestant church. So simple. So Roman Catholic started a reformation within they started to revive the lost glory and the prestige of the Roman Catholic, which was known as Counter-Reformation. Okay, so it was a response to the Protestant movement. It was a response to the Protestant movement was going on, Reformation movement was going on. So it was a response to that. That was known as Counter-Reformation. So now the Catholic Church, due to Reformation, Counter-Reformation, became virtuous, liberal, compassionate, and more tolerant of differing and opposing views. So this was the changes which was seen in the Roman Catholics. So I hope, children, you understood it. And then there was a rise of nation states. Nation states were born with powerful rulers, completely free from the dominance of the church. The rulers, they had independent powers to look after the political affairs and administrative affairs of their states. Several European rulers who earlier were dominated and they had to follow the orders of the church, now they assumed power as the head of the church. They assumed power. Several European rulers assumed power as the head of the church. Now they were the head of the church as well as the government. They were the head of the government as well as the church. The loyalty of the people now was shifted from the church to the ruler. Before, their loyalty was toward the church, but now it was shifted towards the ruler. Whoever was the ruler, now the people of the state, they must be loyal to the ruler. So the ruler was both temporal as well as a spiritual leader, and no longer divided between Roman church and their government. Simple, single rule, you need to follow them. So this marked the evolution. Of nation states comprising of people bound by common ties. We all belong to the same country. We are ruled by a same ruler. We follow the same culture. we believe and follow the same history, we follow the same language, territory, united under one government and one rule. That was known as nation states. That is the definition of nation states. Common ties of language, united under one government and one ruler. So this is all about the birth of nation states. Economic development. Last part is economic development. After the Reformation, drain of wealth from Christian countries to Rome came to an end. After the Reformation, the drain of wealth from Christian countries to Rome came to an end. Rulers of these nation states used this wealth for improving and introducing various reforms in the field of economic and social life of the people. They improved the economic condition of the people. They tried to improve the trade and commerce of the country. Trade, agriculture and industry flourished due to the wealth used. Before this wealth were transferred to Roman Empire, which was not utilized for the development of the country. So now the primary concern of the ruler was to provide a welfare state to the people. So welfare of the people was a primary concern of the rulers, who won the loyalty and support of the people and became strong and powerful. So loyalty of the people was for the ruler and the loyalty of the ruler was for the people. I hope, children, you understood this chapter. So as I told you, this chapter I divided into 3 parts. First part, second part, third part, and this is the last part I completed today. The beginning of modern world has come to an end. So once again, those who have not watched the previous videos, please watch it. The link is given in the description box. And please like the videos and mention your name in the comment box, so that I can know that who all are watching this particular video. Okay, now before I start a new chapter, I'll be giving you the link to the questions and answers in the video. Later on I'll give you, not today. After 2-3 days I'll give it to you. So please watch the video. Please go keep on checking the link in the description box, so surely you will get it. Okay, children, so this much for today. Hope you all have understood the first chapter of history, and the next chapter, which will start in the next class, is the Industrial Revolution and the rise of imperialism. Industrial Revolution and the rise of imperialism. Okay, that also will do it, and hopefully you will understand that chapter also. Okay, children, so we'll meet again in the next class. Please follow what I say and complete your work. Write down the question answers in your copy. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Side by side, please follow the books also. Okay, and we'll meet again in the next class with a new chapter. Till then, take care. Bye bye.